Hello, I'm Chuck Elias, the CEO and a co-founder of 42 Chat. And today I'm excited to share with you our HealthShield product. You know, at 42 Chat, we're on a mission to help schools and businesses and organizations of all type open safely. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the product. I'm going to show you a demo, but we're going to start with some best practices and kind of what we've learned as we're deploying and we're working with organizations across the country. So let's start with a kind of this universal business problem that we have. We have two problems actually. The first is we need to be safe, and that simply means that we're creating a safe environment that people can be invited into our facility, whether they're students or staff or faculty or officials or coaches or visitors. It really doesn't matter. We want to create a safe environment for everyone to enter. Right. The second thing is, in addition to being safe, is we need to demonstrate that we're safe. We need to prove to the stakeholders and those people out there that are going to come and visit our facility that we actually have processes in place, that we're operating safely. So it's not just enough to be safe, you need to demonstrate it. And when we talk about safety and being safe, we always start with symptom screening because it is the most important thing you need to do. Having every person attest to their current health status before they arrive at your door is the best practice, right? You don't want them to get all the way into your door and into your halls, and then you go, hey, tell me about your symptoms, right? Tell me, do you have COVID-like symptoms? Are you okay, right? Because then they could infect everyone else before you've even symptom checked them, right? So the first step is symptom checking, and symptom checking simply means asking them questions about COVID-like symptoms. Do you have the symptoms? Do you have a temperature? Have you been exposed to COVID in the recent past? So you want to make sure that everyone attests to these. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. It's not just students and teachers, right? It's anyone who visits your school. It could be a visitor, right? It could be the cleaning crew. It could be a repair person. It could be a delivery person. It could be somebody doing the lawn care that comes in to use the restroom. You need to make sure that everyone is being screened before they get into the door. And then as a second level, you can then temperature screen. And temperature screening, whether it's just taking a wand and getting a temperature off someone's forehead, whether it's self-reported, whether it's third party, so you actually have a manager or a teacher or somebody actually taking everyone's temperature and recording it. You can think about temperature screening as the second level of safety because you're really just making sure that anyone that has an elevated temperature doesn't get to continue on into the building, right? But temperature checking itself is just not enough. We know, I think, what's the number? 30% of people are asymptomatic. They don't actually have symptoms, or they're asymptomatic. They don't have a temperature until a few days into it. You don't want people that are potentially infected in. So that's why symptom screening is so important. You need that one first, and then you need temperature screening. And then, of course, the third step is testing. If somebody says, look, I have COVID symptoms, or you identify that they have a temperature, you want to make sure that you have a testing protocol. You want to have some way of what should you recommend that they do, right? Because the best practice is when someone actually has COVID-like symptoms or has a temperature, we don't know if it's COVID or not, so they need to self-quarantine for 14 days. Well, that's perfectly appropriate if they actually have a positive COVID case. But if they don't, if they just had a fever for the day or a cold or something like that, and they don't have COVID, it's okay for them to return to work once they're healthy. And that may be not 14 days from now. So every day we can get a student back in class. Every day we can get a teacher back teaching their students doing what they love, an employee back, somebody back on the field. These really matter in terms of creating the best school experience we can. Now, in addition to being safe, of course, we need to be able to demonstrate that we're safe, right? This is about providing confidence and convincing all the stakeholders that you have a repeatable process and experience, right? Think about it like when you go to the airport and you get your boarding pass, right? You can be at home and you can get your boarding pass. You have to self-report some answers to questions. You're not bringing hazardous materials or you're doing whatever the rules are. You have to report those, right? And then when you get to the airport, you get your boarding pass, you walk through security, they're going to scan you, they may random check you. Think about that the same way, right? We're asking people to do this in advance before they get to your school. And then we're going to temperature check everyone or some people, right, to make sure that we're keeping them honest. When people see that experience, right, they have confidence that you're doing this the same way every time. Now, you lose 100% of the confidence if it's not repeatable, right? If some people have to get checked and others people don't, right? Some people have to do their symptoms, some just get waved in. Right? You need a consistent and repeatable process so that everyone has confidence that you're doing what you said you're doing to keep them safe, right? The second step in demonstrating safety is really having an audit trail of who came to your building, what time did they come, where were they in your facility, right? How do you contact them if you need to, right? Having that information at your fingertips so that you can demonstrate compliance to insurers, to regulators, and hopefully not, but to lawyers. If they start to say, well, my client thinks they got COVID at your facility, you need to be able to demonstrate as a duty of care. You need to be able to demonstrate that you've done everything you can, or the best practices that we're applying to your school to make sure that you've got that record of compliance and you're able to protect your school and your organization. The third step to demonstrating is really just having a rapid response plan to confidentially outreach to those who are potentially exposed. Right. So this is simply about once you have a positive case, we're going to get positive cases, right? There's no cure for COVID. There's a vaccine that may come sometime in the future. But right now, we're going to have positive cases. So the question is, how do I demonstrate? Right? How do I demonstrate? How do I make it so as soon as I have someone that's a positive case, I'm able to reach out to them quickly and make it so that you could say, hey, you were exposed, you were in this location. We have somebody that had a case that you may have been exposed. Please go get tested. Otherwise, you need to self-quarantine, and I can't see you for 14 days. But if you go get tested, you can actually come back earlier, assuming you're healthy, of course, and you pass the symptom screening and the temperature check if you would have applied it. Now, those best practices are what we've actually built HealthShield around. And HealthShield, this product has been created to be the easiest way to do symptom screening and full auditing of everything that you need, right? So it uses simple text. No one has to download an app. I'm going to demonstrate this for you in a second. I'm going to actually take you through a live demo and ask you to do it with me. You'll see that. So no downloads. It's just regular text using your own phone, so it's safer, right? No pens, no pencils, no touching a table. Just use your phone, and you're doing everything you need to there. It's compliant, right? It meets the best practices. It also provides a digital audit trail, and it also provides a rapid response, ability to respond rapidly to those. Just send a text to people out there that were in that location. Says, hey, you may have been exposed. Please go get tested. And we have packages starting at 15 cents per screening. Incredibly low priced for all of the tools that you're going to get. We're talking about 15 seconds for a screen and 15 cents for a screen. So incredibly pricing incredibly low, and really just everything you're going to see here in a second. So now I could talk about this for a lot, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to ask you to do a demo with me, and hopefully you'll do this. And while you're doing that, I'm actually going to pull up my phone, and I'm going to pull that on the screen. But if you could just go ahead and text this number, 510-880-4100. And while you're doing that, I'm going to pull my phone up and put it over here on the screen so you can see it, because I'm going to do this right along with you. Okay. Now, the first thing you'll notice when I'm out of my message center is I'm actually just on my regular phone. This is my glorious iPhone with all the things I haven't checked with the red dots, but you can see the messages here. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to the same number, 510-880-4100. And I'm going to text hi, just like I'm asking you to do. And this is a live bot. This is one that that's live 24 hours a day. So you can test at any point, and you see the bot response. Now, we've created a fake school district called the Granite School District. And the purpose of this bot is to do screenings, but it can do many other things if we wanted to train it to do that. It's a full conversational AI chatbot, which is what our platform and what we build across the country, across the world for bots. So what this is designed to do is to focus on screening. So we're going to do that first. So let's just go to screening, and I'm going to click on that link. And what you'll see first is the terms and conditions. So we've branded this for the Granite School District. And basically these terms and conditions are important because it tells the user this is what we're going to use this information for. And it's basically your health and safety. We're using it. It's self-reporting. We're using it. If we need to notify you, we're going to use this tool, right? So these can be customized for your school district, but fundamentally, it's really important that you have this. You'll see my name's already in there. You can put any name you want in there, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse. It doesn't really matter. It's a demo. All this data gets destroyed anyway. But just go ahead and enter it in. You'll notice here as well where you see who is being screened, where I get the opportunity to add dependents, right? I can add dependents whenever I want. I can put somebody's name in. I can say they're a student. I can say they're a student, teacher, whatever they are. I can actually even say what grade level they're at, what classroom they're at. So all that's configurable and set up. So I'm not going to do that because I've already got this. I've got this set up, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to screen 2 or 3 people. This is myself and Nick. And you'll notice that we now jump to symptom screening. You can see how fast this tool is. I'm going to answer the first question about fever. Nope, I'm okay. I don't have sweats or any of that. I'm going to say no. The second around COVID-like symptoms, shortness of breath, et cetera, sore throat, I'm going to say no on that. And then 14 days I've been anywhere where I might have been exposed. I'm going to say no. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to submit those answers. And I'm going to immediately get a response that says, okay, I'm in a pending status. It says, hey, so far you're good. You got a small green check mark, right? But in this case, we've set this bot up so that temperature is optional. So I'm going to go ahead and enter temperature. I'm just going to say that whatever, we're at 98 degrees, and I'm going to enter that in. And as soon as I enter that in, I get a green check. Hey, we're good to go, right? I passed the symptom screening. I've got the temperature in. We're good. Notice a couple other things. This is about Nick, and it's taken by me, right? So that's the first thing. You also see that there's an expiration. So this this HealthShield will actually expire in 8 hours. That's our kind of standard default, but that can be configured to whatever you need. I'm going to go back into messages, and what you'll notice here is I actually got a text that said I passed, and that's really important because we don't want people to have the website open or anything like that. We can just jump back in. They click that link. They can show it whenever they need to, so they can do it at home early in the morning. They can click that link. They can show it. They can show the bus driver. They can show whoever they need to show that their dependent has been screened. Now, I'm going to do something that you can't do. I'm a manager. Let's just assume I'm a teacher, or I'm a principal, or somebody who has access to administrative privileges for this tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull you into the manager tool so you can just see this on screen. Again, you can't do this, but I can as a manager. And you'll notice that these screenings just went through right away, right? You'll notice that the information just came up, and you can see I can click on Nick, and I can actually see him in here. Now, what's interesting about this, I can actually look at this and I can say, oh, here's Nick. I did him before, so he's a student and he's in the 4th grade, right? So he's been verified already in this case, and that's noted. You can also see that I can see the responses that Nick's parent provided with respect to the symptoms. I could overwrite that. I could take notes if I chose to about this, right? I can do that. I can also override this. So let's say we went through and let's say they said they self-reported the temperature of 98, but when he showed up at the school, we said temperature of 100. I'll just put 100 in here just so it's fast. Right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say red. Hey, that makes them red. So I don't want Nick to come into the classroom and potentially affect everyone else until he gets tested. So we're going to say, hey, Nick was red. So I've actually updated that. And when I go back to my when I go back here and just kind of refresh the screen, what you're going to see here is that Nick is now red. Okay, the other thing you'll notice here is I can actually filter on a number of different things. I can just say, show me the reds, show me anybody who's just red. I can also filter on schools. Now I'm going to filter on, I've got screening. I'm going to filter on 2nd grade. And you can see when I filter on that, you'll see that I have one person in the 2nd grade. That's Daly. That's another one of my quote dependents in here. So I can filter on all this data, and all that information is there. Okay, so I just wanted to take you through that quickly so you can see kind of the back-end functionality. And now that you've seen that and hopefully experienced it, I really hope that you did try this. Again, try it, share it with your friends, colleagues, coworkers, whatever, to understand how this works. Let me take you through a couple things and just kind of quickly describe what you've been through. The first is you'll notice that it's a very simple process, right? It's 1, 2, 3. You text a number or you receive a number. We could send a number to anybody that we have a phone number for. We often send reminders to people that say, hey, the bot, you need to do your symptoms for today, or you don't get to come to school, you don't get to come to the field, you don't get to practice, right? So we do that. The second step is they take the symptom, they answer the questions, right? They get a green, yellow, or a red check. All that data is captured. It's ready to go. Okay. The second thing is that we're going to go ahead and look at this, and you can see the screening tools that you see. It's basic questions. They text or get a link. They answer the questions. They get the check. That's what you just experienced. There's a number of, we can configure the temperatures in all kinds of ways. No temperature required, self-required, or optional, or third-party required. You might say every single teacher or staff member has to be checked by a third party. You might say nurses need to check people. Whatever you want to do, you can configure. We can configure the tool to do that. As we talked about, you also have roles and locations and groups. So this is really how we manage the hierarchy. We manage who can see what. So a classroom teacher can only see their class. A coach can only see their team, right? So we have these controls in place to make sure that people are staying wherever they're supposed to be in terms of the data they're able to see and the information that they can access, and we also have a complete record of who's there and kind of what we know about them. The other thing, we can do the same thing we just described there. We can do that. We can do that as well for teams. It's the same basic process, right? Where we can get all the way down to teams, coaches, officials, a little bit of everything on that side. Okay, all of this can be customized. There's lots of configuration options that we set up for you. And all of this is actually something we do very quickly. Our standard bots can be deployed in about 15 minutes. And even our complex custom bots where we're working with you a lot are typically deployed in a day or two. So it's just something that can be out there and be live very quickly. Now, I showed you the management oversight, the options that we have there. Everything's there. You can notice that the health shields do expire based on the time frame, so that information will be in there at all times. And we also have built-in reporting. Everything that we've just shown you is fully accessible in a report that you can download, right? It's filterable. It's the same level. You see all the responses to questions that people have. Again, we've created this automatic digital audit trail for you so that it's easy to capture the information, easy to use, and really powerful and really kind of instantaneous on that side. Who are we as 42 Chat? We're one of the world leaders in conversational AI chat for over SMS, and we've really, I wouldn't say perfected, but we really work hard to use the SMS channel, and we use the SMS channel because everyone can text. Everyone can text. Everybody has a phone. Everyone can text, and 98% of texts are read. And when you send a text to them, they're going to pay attention to it. They're going to see it. When they get a positive response or a negative, they're going to respond, and we just make it really easy to do that. We are a solution partner. We focus on solving jobs using artificial intelligence chatbots. We've won a bunch of awards. I love this page, but it's not because of the awards. I love it because the people that are giving us these awards are really the decision makers in the industries that we operate. We make bots across a lot of different spaces, but it's really the folks that are the decision makers that see our technology as innovative and really solving business problems, and that's why we have such a loyal customer base. So we'd love to talk to you about this product. We'd love to answer questions, show you more about the demo, go deeper if you'd like, but we really like to help you open up safely. So if you're a school, you're a district, you're a state, you're a business, an organization of any type of sports team, we want to help you. Just check us out at 42chat.com. You can, in the bots section, you can go and you can see different versions of bots. If you go to the HealthShield, you'll see specifics around that. You can email us, you can call us. Look, we want to help you. Our mission is to help businesses and organizations open. And so we're there for you. We're here to help. We'd love to see how we can work together. And we hope you just stay safe and you create the best environment you can and wherever you're at today. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.